Hello, this is Hambone, and I'm going to be giving tips for The Last of Us multiplayer today. And this gameplay is nothing special, it's just a game where I had a bunch of downs, had like 9, I thought it was pretty good. And we actually ended up losing because two of my teammates went like 1 and 5 or something like that. But they just couldn't get anything going, not their fault, sometimes it happens. But to start off, I'm going to be giving you 8 essential tips I feel that are pretty good, and I'm going to be going them in order of importance, from the first one I say going to be the most important to the last one I say being the least important. So let's start off with the most important, I feel, and that is teamwork. And I know that sounds really obvious, like, well, of course, it's a multiplayer game, teamwork. Well, teamwork in most multiplayer games is just, like, oh, hey, there's my teammate, you wave at him, and you might say hi to him. That's about it, really. In this game, teamwork is what I mean by sticking with your teammates. If you're by yourself in this game and you run into a 1 versus 2 situation, there's a good chance that you will not win that gunfight or situation. That's just simply how this game works. Your chances of winning it are very low. When you stick with your teammates, you run into a person, y'all can easily team fire them, cross them, and you can take them out easily. Remember, 2 is better than 1, 3 is better than 1, 4 is better with 1. It's better than 1. Stick with your teammates, you will do better, you will enjoy yourself more. I know at the beginning a lot of this game I did find myself lone wolfing a lot, but I've learned from my mistakes and I've learned to stick with my teammates, and most of the time if you stick with your teammates you will do better. Next is something that I find just as equally important as sticking with your teammates and teamwork, and that is marking your opponents. If you don't know how to mark your opponent, when you're aiming at them, you click in on the right thumbstick, and this will mark them for you so you can see them through walls and you can see where they are on the map. This will help you devise strategies towards beating them, killing them, and will help your teammates see them too, because when you mark someone, your teammates also see the mark as well. Now, there are some perks that help with it. There's one called Hawkeye, which actually makes your mark last longer, and in upgraded versions of it, I know the last version of it, if you mark an opponent, if there's any other opponents near this one that you have marked, they will appear for you on the map, which is really useful. It's really cool. But there is a downside to this. When you've been marked, your opponent knows where you're at, which is why there's a perk called Strategist, I believe, and when you are marked, it tells you. This is very helpful because it lets you know that, oh, I've been marked. Okay, if I'm trying to move up, be sneaky at some point, I know I shouldn't try and do my sneaky move at this point or try and flank at this point. I should wait it out, maybe move back for a second and wait until the mark goes away before I start moving up. Really useful perk, I feel. I run it on most of my survivor classes, and marking in this game is very, very useful, which is why I feel that perk is probably the best in the game, in my opinion. Um, Next tip, do not sprint all the time. I know when I first started playing this game, I was thinking, you know what? I'm going to need to get to positions fast. I'm going to need to be running around this map probably. I need to sprint a lot. Sprinting is bad in this game. When you sprint, it shows you on the map. It allows your opponent to see where you are, and that's not good. The only times I feel you should sprint is at the beginning of a round when you're making that initial surge to pick up supplies and get to a power position so you can set up and hopefully beat your opponent there so you can rather mark them or take them out right away. Or when your teammate is in a firefight and you feel that if you sprint you can get to a better position, you can get a better line of sight on them and you can take them out. That's about the only times I would ever really sprint. Next tip is craft items. Crafting is in this game for a reason. It rewards you with parts. I also forgot to mention that marking your opponents also rewards you with parts. Which can be used in the store, by the way. But crafting items is really important. You can make nail bombs, Molotovs. You can make better melee weapons. You can upgrade them, and you get parts for doing it. But at the same time, you get really useful items. Now, just a real tip about crafting. When you have a choice between making a medkit or a Molotov, which the difference between the two items in making them is that the Molotov does require some binding, whereas the medkit only requires 2 items to make. I feel you should make the Molotov. Medkits are located all around the map, so you usually don't need to make them. You can usually just find them sitting around. Making medkits, I don't feel is really that helpful, whereas a Molotov, you have another weapon at your disposal, so you don't have to worry about buying as much ammo or something like that, or running out of, or you run out of ammo, you have something else to defend you with as Molotov, or a nail bomb. Nail bomb's a really good item in itself, but there are some perks that can help you out. One of them being, I forget what it's called, but it does allow you to craft 75% faster, which is really good if you're one of those people that likes to run, get materials, get materials, make items all the time. Really helpful for people like that. So if you like to play like that, still play like that, just this perk's really helpful for you. And there's also a perk that makes it to when you make melee weapons, they craft in half the time, and they have an additional hit. I forget what it's called. I believe it's called Brawler, but I could be mistaken. The next tip is something that I see people doing a lot when they shouldn't, and that is going for the special execution. Now, what do I mean by the special execution? When you down someone and you run up to them and you press triangle, that is a special execution. It takes you into an animation. You can't do anything while the animation is happening. This is bad. This leaves you opening to getting shot, to getting punched in the face by someone who's gone up on you, and to getting yourself killed in general. Do not do special executions unless you have a perfect opportunity. If it's the last person in the game and you've downed them, go punch him in the face. Go special execution. Go beat him out. Whatever. If you're down someone and they're near the middle of the map and it's still in the middle of a round, it's probably not the best idea to go special execute them. Shoot them if you have to. You can always find or buy more ammo if you need to, or you can run up to them and melee them twice. Meleeing a person twice by just pressing square will kill them, and you won't have to waste ammo, and it's actually faster when you're up that close than special executing. That's just really important. Just don't special execute people unless you have an opportunity to, because it will get you killed. Next is using the store properly. This is going to go over what you should buy, what you shouldn't buy. Now, I myself find myself not using the store as often as I should. Whether it be because I always forget about it, or it be because I just don't feel safe when I'm in the store. I always feel like I'm going to die when I go into it. I'll be in there too long looking at stuff, thinking, trying to make a decision. But in the store, there are 3 things you can buy. I don't think there's more than these 3 items, but there's 3 things. There's ammo for your gun, a upgrade for your gun, which will make it better, hold more ammo, reload capacity, stuff like that. And then there's armor. Now, I feel that buying ammo is not necessary. Or at least it's the least important thing to buy, in my opinion, because you can often find ammo lying around. If you kill a person, you can usually get more ammo for them. Supply boxes give you ammo, which, they're all over the place. Armor is the most important, I feel, because, if you have armor on, it takes a lot to take you down usually compared to someone without armor. A lot. And especially if you get into a melee fight with a person, you're usually going to win that melee fight if you have armor on, unless your opponent has armor on and they haven't been shot as much as you or hit as much. Now, as far as the gun upgrades go, I really don't have an opinion on them because I don't buy them too often. I usually forget, or I feel they're not worth it. But I guess they're more useful than ammo if you can use them properly. But I don't know. I really don't have an opinion on them, so I'm sorry. But I guess it probably goes armor, ammo, gun upgrades. I guess really the gun upgrades aren't that great when I think about it. They're not really. Oh well. The next 2 tips are real simple. The next one is listen mode. Use it, but be careful. Don't forget it's there because it can be useful to you, but it's not that great, I feel, because there is a perk that actually prevents you from appearing on a person's listen mode, and there is a really long cooldown time for the thing for it to recharge, and it doesn't last that long. There's a perk that can extend this time, but I overall feel listen mode is useful Don't forget it's there, but it's not that great. And the last thing is, if you were the last one left, go to a supply point and open it up. You will find nail bomb, Molotov, machete sometimes, food, and it will heal you up and it will prepare you to make a last stand effort. I found this to be especially useful in survival, not so much in supply raid, because a lot of times, well, not a lot of time, but you can run into 10 opponents at one time in supply raid if you're the last one left, if your team was really bad. But make sure that you go to a supply point, open it up if you're the last man standing. It will give you a bunch of good items and it will help you out. But that's about it. Main thing to emphasize from this: teamwork, mark people, make sure you craft items. But that's about it. Hope you enjoyed these tips and you thought they were useful. If you did, give the video a thumbs up. And if you really liked it, please subscribe, because I will be posting The Last of Us a lot in the future. So I will talk to y'all later.